Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today is a Friday, so we might get a little bit last second volatility, but other than that, it's usually going to be slow up until 5 p.m. Eastern Sunday and onwards because we have Asian session opening, and then eventually you have Europe, and then you have NA opening, right? So with that being said, I thought, great time for a market overview because we probably won't get a big relevant update until sometime in the beginning of next week. Listen, your boy may have percent today. He's going out. It's Friday. Treat yourselves well. Listen, it's good to be caught up in, updates and charts and studying and anything. But listen, you got to treat yourself well, right? Relax, take it easy. If you're getting off work, treat yourself well. Go out on Saturday, Sunday, relax a little bit, lock back in. At nighttime, just check a couple things. Monday, you're back in it fully 100%. And that's just the way it should be. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, right? So I've been noticing Bitcoin has been respecting this trend line, right? We've been talking about how it's been consolidating for pretty much a week now, a little bit more than a week, and it's just been respecting this level, right? And the thing is with Bitcoin, if it wants to respect the level without breaking through it, it will. Okay. It will. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Even historically over here, this time around in back in October of 2023, right? We can see that Bitcoin was just going diagonally for a month, right? A little more than a month. And, people thought it was going to get swept. People thought, this was going to happen, that was going to happen. And even though there were some bait moments like, ooh, big red day and then green day, red day, overall general direction was just diagonally, right? It was just diagonally. Now, one thing I do want to point out because this may happen, may or may not happen. We may be in a similar scenario kind of like over here. I'm not going to say it's going to take obviously this long. We're not going to be going sideways 4 months, but we could be in a very, very similar scenario where we kind of are, you know, somewhere over here, and we may break to the downside just temporarily, sweep some kind of liquidity before we continue going up. And I'll show you exactly what I mean, right? So option number one is we just respect this and we continue going up, right? And that is very, very likely. For me, the way I have think about trading, the type of style I have, I look for liquidity sweeps. So where is liquidity? We have boom over here, 96,000 and 97,000, pretty much at 99 and a half, pretty much at 100,000 and 101,000, right? We have liquidity, we have stop losses there, we have buy orders, we have sell stops. So we have a lot of, orders that are looking to be placed roughly in these areas. We also have probably some buy limits over here, roughly at 102K, 103K. So for me, it would not be surprising if they sweep this and we do get this final move to the downside. I'm not saying it is going to 100% happen, but it's something to keep in mind, right? Personally, I still have been dollar cost averaging into, altcoins. I don't buy every day, but if I do see a nice red day, I will buy. I will let the community know, right? And I do have some money left for just in case we do pull back to this area. Like I said, I showed you two examples. One example, we just kept going diagonally up, and the other, we did pull back before, we continued with price action. So, I am prepared. I am prepared. Plan A is already dollar cost averaging at good solid prices. And like I said, if we do go back into this 92 to let's just say 95,000 zone, that will be a nice red day. That will be a big red day. Bitcoin goes down, let's say 11%. Then most altcoins would probably go from anywhere from 18 to 28%. And that's when I'm going to go very, very aggressive on some of my final positions. So that is that when it comes in terms of Bitcoin. When we go to something like Bitcoin dominance, ladies and gentlemen, right? We can see we're kind of consolidating right now. And, once we break out, we probably will be going back to the 60% and probably all the way to 61 and a half before we get some kind of minor correction. We can see we have been creating higher highs with Bitcoin dominance, generally speaking, right? We broke out of this huge triangle area, this huge triangle. Now we're kind of going sideways. We're respecting roughly 58.5%. And I do expect things to go generally up. Of course, if we do have that big pullback, then Bitcoin dominance will probably take a hit a little bit. But like I said, we already are okay with plan A. If that does not happen, if it does pull back, then plan B is, simply just buying way more aggressively. When we go look at altcoins, right? I'm going to talk about some of the ones that people really, really like on this channel. One of them, of course, is Turbo, beloved Turbo. Turbo continues to make lower lows, ladies and gentlemen, going into our final green box of 0.05253 area, right? I will be personally putting in my final bag for Turbo right at this level. I don't want to go over aggressive with holding meme coins. Meme coins do hold up roughly 20 to 22% of my portfolio already. And, I don't mind that, but I also want to be in a position where right now, from here, from these types of prices, if I can get an average of 10 to 12 to 13x, even 9 to 13x, I would be really, 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 really happy with these prices, right? Obviously, I would want 20x, 25, 30, 50, of course, but I would not be complaining, about simply a 10x from here. That is just more on the very, very conservative side. We will see how everything obviously plays out in the future when it comes to selling, right? Theory can only get you so far. So there's no point of theorizing so long. That's not a word. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. Listen, Caspa, right? Caspa is looking a little weak, right? A little weak. Most altcoins, they just feel like they're on the brink of a pullback, generally speaking. When we do look at it at the lower time frame, you know, we have to pretty much, you know, what is it called? Get above this level over here. First step would be getting above this level of pretty much 14 cents. If we don't hold this, then we will be going back to around 11 cents, a little bit more than 11 cents to retest higher. If this fails, then for me, that is just going to be an indication of the liquidity sweep that we talked about. So I am set, right? I am set. I have a goal with Caspa. I will be buying some Caspa if this hits 8.5 cents, as I've been talking about that area for a while. And I feel like it would be very silly not to pull the trigger when you get like a very nice discount. Something like Pangolin, right? Pangolin has, retested these lows over here, right? It's a shame that we went back to these areas, as I really did believe at one point that, us holding the 36 line was going to be enough. But you got to remember, this isn't just a Pangolin issue. This is many, many altcoins retracing deeper than expected. But that is okay if you look at the bigger picture, right? If you bought at 35 cents, if you bought at even 50 cents, or even if you bought all the way up here, you're still going to be fine, right? You're still going to be fine. Pangolin is continuing to do updates. You know, the cycle still has a long way to go. Worst case scenario would probably make three times your money from up here, right? From up here in the worst case scenario. So, unless Pangolin literally decides to become a trash project, you know, things change. There is no worry right there. Something like Radium continues to do fairly well. We know Radium has a lot of imbalance and it won't really stop moving until it roughly hits $10. So I've talked about this for a while and I'll say it again that we can see imbalance is pretty much lack of support and resistance. It was very, very simple, right? We pretty much retested off of this big area. We broke above the relevant structure. Now, there was a little bit of resistance here, just minor. So I would not be surprised if we slow down here to go up higher like this. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.